While it is a tragedy when any young person dies, when famous artists die before their time, the hurt can be felt around the world. For example, think of the mythical 27 Club, with members like Kurt Cobain, Amy Winehouse, Jim Morrison, and Janis Joplin. Whether it be a result of substance abuse, illness, or some other factor, their incredible talent was taken from the world far too soon. Regardless of why they passed away, they all have something in common. Their loss left a void in the world of music, but their legacies will live on forever. To continue spreading their legacy, here is our list of famous artists who died too young. Number 1 on our list is Buddy Holly. Buddy Holly died when his chartered plane crashed. Also on board and killed in the crash were Ritchie Valens and the Big Bopper. An investigation determined the cause of the crash was due to the pilot not being qualified to fly by instruments, and the plane took off in a snowstorm. His date of death, February 3, 1959, was forever immortalized as the day the music died. Following his untimely death, he was interred at City of Lubbock Cemetery in Lubbock, Texas. Buddy's group was the Crickets, and they stayed together after his death, and he was voted the 13th greatest rock and roll artist of all time by Rolling Stone. He was also posthumously awarded a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame for recording at 1750 North Vine Street in Hollywood, California, on what would have been his 75th birthday, on September 7, 2011. Today, Buddy Holly would have been 83 years old. We miss you, Buddy. Number 2 on our list is Mac Miller. Fans were blindsided in 2018 when it was announced that rapper Mac Miller had died. On September 7th, shortly before noon, police officers responded to a frantic 911 call placed by Miller's personal assistant and longtime sober coach, who discovered Miller's lifeless body in a bedroom in his sprawling, compound-like home moments earlier. The 26-year-old rapper, who topped the charts as an independent teenage artist and whose career was defined by a relentless desire to improve his craft, was pronounced dead at the scene. According to an autopsy report released by the Los Angeles County Coroner's Office on November 5th, Miller died of an accidental overdose. Fentanyl, cocaine, and alcohol were all present in his system. For those closest to him, Miller's death still came as a shock. By all accounts, he was in his best mental and physical condition in years when he died. Miller had been working with the sober coach since 2016 and was working out at an LA gym nearly every day. On January 8, 2020, Miller's family announced his first posthumous album, Circles, which was released later that month on January 17th. Miller had been working on the album before his death as a companion album to Swimming, Swimming in Circles, a beautiful parting gift for the world. Number 3 on our list is Dimebag Darrell. Darrell Lance Abbott, aka Dimebag Darrell, was an acclaimed hard rock guitarist and songwriter who co-formed the heavy metal band Pantera. On December 8, 2004, the 38-year-old Darrell was shot dead by a concertgoer while on stage with his new band Damageplan. The shooter, Nathan Gale, 25 years old, was killed by a Columbus police officer minutes after the violence erupted. Nathan Gale was reportedly upset that Pantera had broken up last year and may have blamed Abbott for the band's acrimonious split. Abbott, 38 years old, was known as an expressive guitarist who brought the fluid dynamics of Eddie Van Halen's technique to Pantera's much harder power group thrash. One of the 90s most uncompromising metal acts, Pantera were also one of the most successful. During its 18-year career, the band sold more than 7 million records, according to SoundScan. 1994's Far Beyond Driven entered the charts at number 1 and sold 1.4 million copies. Today, Dimebag's legacy carries on in the soul of thousands of guitarists and metal bands who were influenced by Pantera's legendary sound. Number 4 is Selena. Selena Quintanilla was taken from us too soon. The Tejano singer was only 23 years old when she died on March 31, 1995. after the president of her fan club and manager of her boutiques, Yolanda Saldivar, shot her in a hotel room at the Days Inn in Corpus Christi, Texas, after discussing a financial situation. The tragic events started with a discovery by Selena's father, Abraham Quintanilla Jr., when fans started calling and sending letters about not receiving merchandise they had paid for. Abraham noticed Yolanda had embezzled more than $60,000 from the fan club and boutiques. Yolanda was fired, but still held some financial paperwork for the stores. That is why Selena arranged a meeting at the Days Inn, where at 11:48 in the morning, Yolanda shot Selena on the shoulder. The Como la Flor singer managed to escape to the lobby before she was rushed to the hospital and was pronounced dead. Her music was able to cross cultural boundaries, and she was sometimes hailed as the Latina Madonna. Since Selena's murder, her cultural relevance has only grown. Her legacy has been celebrated most famously by the 1997 movie Selena, starring Jennifer Lopez, but also with murals, illustrations, wax figures, tribute concerts, apparel, and even some impressive lip art. To this day, she still remains a cultural icon among Latinos. Number 5. Amy Winehouse. Amy Winehouse was only 27 years old when she died on July 23, 2011, from accidental alcohol poisoning. As news of her passing broke across the globe, the English singer was quickly compared to other famous musicians whose lives ended at the same age, a group that has long been referred to as the 27 Club. British singer Amy Winehouse was known for her deep vocals and her eclectic mix of jazz, soul, pop, and R&B. She had a reputation as an unstable party girl, and her top 10 single Rehab discussed her refusal to receive treatment for substance abuse. Amy Winehouse emerged as one of the most talented singers of the decade thanks to her 2006 album Back to Black. She racked up tons of industry praise and awards, becoming the first British woman to win 5 Grammys. But fame was not her friend. Amy's short life was plagued by bouts of depression, self-harm, eating disorders, and drug and alcohol addiction. She was in a toxic, volatile relationship with husband Blake Fielder Sybil, which led to even deeper spirals of substance abuse and outrageous behavior that made her an increasingly easy target for the press and paparazzi. Despite her life being in disorder, she gave the world amazing music, and that will live on forever. Number 6 is Marvin Gaye. Marvin Gaye was known as the Prince of Soul, and he had a phenomenal range spanning 3 vocal styles. He was easily one of the most successful Motown artists. Over the course of his roughly 25-year recording career, he moved successfully from upbeat pop to message music to sateen chic soul, combining elements of Smokey Robinson, Bob Dylan, and Barry White into one complicated and sometimes contradictory package. But as the critic Michael Eric Dyson put it, the man who chased away the demons of millions with his heavenly sound and divine art was chased by demons of his own throughout his life. His life came to a tragic end in 1984 when Marvin Gaye was shot and killed by his own father one day short of his 45th birthday. Marvin Gaye, the international recording star, had moved into his parents' home in late 1983 at a low point in his struggle with depression, debt, and cocaine abuse. Only 1 year removed from his first Grammy win, Gaye was in horrible physical, psychological, and financial shape. By some reports, Marvin Sr. harbored significant envy over his son's tremendous success, and Marvin Jr. clearly harbored unresolved feelings toward his abusive father. On the afternoon of April 1st, 1984, in the family house in the West Adams district of Los Angeles, Gaye intervened in a fight between his parents and became involved in a physical altercation with his father. In Gaye's bedroom, minutes later, at 12:38 p.m., Gaye's father shot Gaye in the heart and then, at point-blank range, his left shoulder. The first shot proved fatal. After Gaye's funeral, his body was cremated at Forest Lawn Memorial Park at the Hollywood Hills. His ashes were scattered into the Pacific Ocean. Fans still mourn these great artists, often wondering what might have been if these musicians still lived today. We will never know, but we certainly have their legacy to enjoy every day at our fingertips. So, we hope you enjoyed our list of the top artists who died too soon, and stay tuned for the second part, which will be coming out next week right here on Mindspun.